Good morning, Wind Chasers. Pastor Mark here for another episode of Chasing the Wind. I'm glad you joined me this morning. Hey, I was thinking about something that the Lord brought to my mind. On my refrigerator is a self-made magnet. What I mean by that is you can buy the little magnet pieces and peel the back off and put some on there and make your own magnet. Or what I like to do is when I get those little magnet things that are for advertising, I like to hang on to those, and I'll put some on the back of it and glue it on, or hot glue it, or glue stick or something, and I'll put it in my refrigerator for a little bit. But anyway, I have one of those, a little saying on my refrigerator right now. And before I get to it, I want to give a little backstory here why this is kind of a fun thing for me. When I was working on my doctorate at Ashland Theological Seminary, Ashland was probably about a 20-minute drive from my niece and nephew's home. And so I remember going out. It was a wonderful thing. It was called Operation Uncle Mark was what it was called. And so my nieces and nephews, they would pick me up. One picked me up from the airport for the first class, and then I used my niece and nephew's car to go over to Ashland, and we had so many great memories of those 2 years, whatever it was, I guess 2.5, 3 years, that I would be going out there for 2 weeks, and we would have 2 weeks together, and it was just a great time. And little Graham was born during that time, and I got exposed to the Twilight movies, and I thought they were going to be scary, and so I would always ask, is that the vampire? Is that the vampire? And finally my nephew says, no one talks to Uncle Mark. It's still a joke that lives in infamy. You had to be there. But anyway, there's this little exchange. I don't know that it happens as much anymore because I don't get to spend as much time with Matt and Bethany. But there would be this thing where Matt would say, "Hey Beth, what if I did such and such?" And then she'd say, "Well, Matt, I would, this would happen, or I would do this." And he'd say, "Well, what if I did this?" It was always this what if, and it got to be a joke, with us. And so there would be this, "Hey, what if?" And what if is an interesting phrase. I get into phrases sometimes, and I'll talk about another one at some point. But there's one phrase that I find interesting. You can ask that question. We ask it a lot. What if? What if? Well, Matt would ask it as like this, full of possibilities. What would happen if this happened? But we get to this place sometimes, don't we, where we start saying it's almost from a place of worry or dread. And it goes through our filters. It goes through the stories that we tell ourselves. That here's how we'll ask the question: what if I lose my job? What if we've been coming off this coronavirus thing? What if I get coronavirus? What if I don't get to? The kids don't get to go back to school, and I'm going to go out of my mind trying to do homeschooling? What if we run out of money? What if there's no food? Or what if there's no toilet paper? Okay, I had to throw that one in there. So that phrase, what if, that question, what if, becomes a question of dread. It becomes a question of, it has a negative connotation to it. And so what if we change that question and we change just the inflection on it? Hey, what if? What if? As a pastor, I ran into this thing. What if we don't have services at our church for a while? Oh, well, that means I need to. I could say it two ways. What if we can't? Oh my goodness! What are we going to do? What if we can't have service? Oh, and then it goes into this spiral because one story leads to another. Oh, well, what if this happens? Then if that happens, what if that happens? What if these two things happen? Then it's a mess, folks. It's a mess. But what if we did this a little bit different? Here's where my little magnet comes in, because we had gotten this box of, I think it was a blueberry muffins, and I think it was Baker's Choice. I'm not promoting them or anything, but I think it was. We'll give credit where credit's due. I think it was Baker's Choice, and on the back of it there was a little thing, and this is what I thought of. It said, "Seize the what if." Ooh, you see where this one's going, folks. What if? What if I lose my job? Well, here's an opportunity for me to create something else. What if I get coronavirus? Well, yes, I could die. Or here's an opportunity for me to go through this. And I've seen things on YouTube, people saying, here's what you can expect. Here's what I learned from this. When I got ready to do my doctorate, a friend of mine, she said, how old are you, Mark? And I said, I think it was 42, something like that. She goes, well, how old will you be when you get it? I said, I'll be 45. I said, but what difference does it make? I'm going to be 45 anyway, assuming I live to 45. I said, I'll be 45 with a degree. I'll be 45 without a degree. So I might as well go for it. What difference does it make? See the what if. What if I get my doctorate? What if I get what if I do this thing here? A couple years ago, my wife and I got chickens. What if we get chickens? Okay. What if we get chickens and we don't want them? We'll find a home for them. I'll take my friend Andy and I'll let him have them or something like that. Okay. What if? What if we get chickens and we don't like it? What if we get this? What if I try this new thing and I don't like it? And here's what's fun. My niece would do this thing. She would buy a couch at this place and she wouldn't pay very much for this couch. And she'd be like, well, that way if I don't like it in a couple of years and I get rid of it, I'm not out anything. I thought, how cool is that? How cool is that? We think there is this permanence of things sometimes. And we run into this dread. Well, what if I get this couch and I don't like it? All right. Well, sell it. Give it to someone else. Do something. What if? Oh my goodness, what if? It can be a place of dread, or we can seize the what if. And we say, wow, here's an opportunity. Here's an opportunity for me to do something. What if it doesn't work? What if I start my own business and it doesn't work? Okay, well, you can start another one. You just educated yourself, didn't you? It's like I heard the story of someone at 3M or IBM, one of those big companies, and someone had been working on a project and it didn't go well, and it cost the company like $600,000. And the big shot at the top was asked, are you going to fire that employee? He goes, fire him. He goes, I just spent $600,000 training him. Why would I let them take that information to another place? They just learned something. What if I do this and it doesn't work? Or what if I try this? I try building this thing and I got to ask someone to come help me. What if, okay, the worst thing is you had to ask for help. Is that such a bad thing? No. Folks, let's seize the what if. I think God is asking us, He asks us to do things a lot. He asks us to step on in faith. Can you imagine poor old Peter? Jesus says, come to me on the water, Peter. And he looks over at the other guys and says, what do you think, guys? Oh, what if you do? What if you step out on the water and you sink? You can't walk on water. What if you do that? And I think it was probably the disciple Mark was sitting over there. I'm sure it was Mark. It was probably Andrew, actually. Andy. He was sitting over there. He goes, well, let's see. Jesus is asking you to walk in the water. He wouldn't ask you unless he had a good reason to do so. So Andy says to Peter, well, what if you do it and Jesus doesn't let you sink and you walk on the water? You'll miss that if you don't do it, if you don't seize the what if. And Mark's sitting over there, well, yeah, that sounds good in the theory, Andy, but the thing, the Apostle Mark has the strength of positivity on the Strengths Finders. As he says, this could be really funny. Peter walks out there and he gets all wet. Man, I've been waiting to see this for a long time. Mark's looking at it a little differently, maybe. What if Peter wouldn't have seized the what if? You say, yeah, but some negative Nelly out there said, yeah, but he did. He started to sink. You know, I often tell my congregation, we all want to see a miracle, don't we? I'm out there, want to see a miracle, raise your hand. I do. But here's the thing. We always want someone else to have to be the recipient of the miracle. We don't want to be the one in the position of miracle. We want to see people get healed, don't we? But we don't want to be the people who are in the position of getting healed. Ooh, I'm crossing that line of meddling again. You say, God, I want to see people healed. He goes, okay, how about you? Oh, no, wait a minute now, Jesus. Let's not get carried away. Jesus, I want to see you do a miracle. Okay, how about I do the miracle with you? Ooh. That wasn't quite what I had in mind. if you want to seize the what if, you want to step in. Can you imagine? Jesus said to the disciples, to Peter and Andrew, I believe it was Peter and Andrew. I'm watching The Chosen right now. That's really a good thing if you get a chance to watch that. They haul in. What if when Jesus said, throw your nets over one more time? And what Peter said, well, I've been fishing all night long, but why not? He says, what if I do? And Jesus says, well, what if you do? And what if you catch? He brings in a haul that they guys, get over here, help us. This is so big. What if he wouldn't have seized the what if? What if I do throw it over? What do I got to lose? I haven't caught anything on it anyway. If Jesus tells me to do it, why don't I do it? It's called faith, people. It's called faith. One of my favorite stories in the Bible, and I think I'm trying to remember the character. It's Old Testament. Just bear with me here. I think it was the guy who had his armor bearer with him. I think maybe it was David. David, his armor bearer, and they're kind of. He was told not to go do something, and maybe it was Jonathan because his dad was the king or whatever. And he says, and then the Philistines are over there. And I love how he says it. He goes, "Come on, let's go pick a fight with those uncircumcised fellows. Maybe God will deliver them into our hands." Okay, what are the odds on maybe? These are trained soldiers. You're standing there. It's you and your armor bearer. His only task is to help you, is to carry the sword and anything else you might need. He's kind of your what do you call that guy in golf? Your caddy. He's your caddy. He's just carrying your stuff for you. Give me a 9-iron. I think that I can pitch onto the green from here. Let's go pick a fight with those uncircumcised fellows. Maybe. We have no guarantees here, dude, but we're kind of bored. Everybody else is over there hiding under the trees, waiting for the prophet to come, I think is what they were doing. Maybe God will deliver them into our hands. I love that story, even if I can't remember who's involved with it. Maybe God will deliver. And they go over and God does. But here's what I know. If they don't go pick the fight, they don't know whether they're going to win. You see, Peter could have not chosen to walk on water, but he would have missed an opportunity. Many opportunities for Jesus to save him, for him to actually walk on the water for a few steps. Hey, I'd be happy for just 2 steps, just to stand on the water for a minute. He walked, I don't know how far he got. But I know this, he would not have seen what God could do if he stayed in the boat. Too many of us are staying in the boat when God said, I want you to do something. This very podcast, this video blog, I said to Andy when we were getting ready to launch in January, like a week before, I said, what if I told you don't launch it? He goes, I'm going to do it anyway, because he goes, I like it. I needed Andy to do that. He's going to get a big head because he's listening right now. I needed him to do that because I wanted to stay in the boat. I wanted to stay, I get it. I can't say that I'm always, there's some things that I will take a chance on, and there's other things I won't. But here's what I know. I want to be the guy that says, let's go pick a fight with those uncircumcised fellows. Maybe God will deliver in my hand. I want to see what's behind that maybe. Seize the what if. Because I will say to you, as Matt would say to Bethany, hey, wind chaser, what if? What if? So, wind chasers, keep chasing the wind, because the wind is chasing you. Until next time, I'm Pastor Mark.